Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm really excited today to start working on a project using my watercolour wings kit. Before I begin though, I just want to say an absolutely massive, huge thank you to everybody that has been supporting this channel. I think I announced in my sort of end of 2023, beginning of 2024 video that I was just shy, I think, of 100 people away from the 4K mark. Well, when I was answering a couple of comments today and I went back to my YouTube page dashboard, it said that I was at 471, I think it was. So I've passed the 4K without even realising it. So thank you to everybody that has been subscribing. There will of course be a giveaway coming up. I'll try and get something organised as soon as I can for everybody. Also a huge thank you to those that have been joining the Facebook group. So last week I started my non-stop Papercrafts Facebook group just because I thought it was easier for me to kind of post things to do with either my kits or challenges and things like that. So I've opened up the Facebook group, and again, already it's been doing so well, and I've got over 200 members already, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everybody for your support. I truly appreciate it. Okay, so as I said, I'm working with the watercolour wings kit, and the project that I want to do is inspired by the wonderful Moira grey. Now, I received this folio, and I've actually got my note in here. I do keep any journal, folio or anything that I get as either a swap, a giveaway, or like journals that I've bought. I keep everything because I just find them so inspirational. It's always wonderful to see how things are put together by other people, different techniques that they use. So I keep everything, and I always make a little note about where and when I've either bought it or won it or what have you. So this was a giveaway win, like I said, from the wonderful Moira Grey, and I will pop her channel down below so you can go and check her out. This was back in October 2021, so I've had it a little while now. One of my targets for this year actually is to start using some of the many journals that I have, because I do have a few. As I say, I take part in a lot of swaps, so I have a few that have been swap items. I've got a couple like this one that have been giveaway wins. I've obviously got the journals that I make as well, so I've got a lot to get through. So this is going to be the year that I'm going to start actually using them. So at the moment this is blank, but I love how this has been put together. It is a relatively thin folio, so it's not massive, so I think this is totally manageable. Looking at Moira's design, now I haven't gone back to see if Moira actually has a tutorial, because my folio is going to be inspired by this, but I don't want to copy exactly what Moira has done. But I just want to give you a little flip through. Now, I don't know whose papers that she used, but they are absolutely stunning. I really, really love these. So as I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful folio. So it opens up like this. If I take out my note, you've got a tuck spot here at the front where you've got a little tag and then the word dream, which is absolutely lovely, and they just go in there. In this slanted pocket you've got a couple of tags, so again really beautiful florals on there. So that's in that pocket. This then opens up again, so I'll keep sliding this over so you can see. We've got a lovely vellum pocket here with a really tall slim tag in, and Moira has quite often done some of this kind of it looks like tea staining, but I got a feeling it might even be a stencil, I'm not sure. Whatever it is, it's got a really beautiful effect on there. So you've got this lovely vellum pocket, which I like. She's recycled an old envelope here, which is then a pocket for a journaling card. And again, that effect on the back, which I really love. Then as you flip it over, you've got another little tuck spot with a large journaling card on. And then there are 3 envelopes with 3 smaller tags in each one. And I really like that. So I'm definitely going to be incorporating that idea into mine. We've then got this piece here which flips up. Now I'm going to have to move this whole entire thing down as I lift up because there are some pockets here with little teeny pieces of ephemera. There is nothing underneath, but something could be placed there, so you could create another pocket or something, or have something just tucked underneath that's held down by that. Then in the middle of the folio you have your journal, and there's a beautiful mixture of different pages here. So you've got some really lovely stained papers, there's music paper in here, there's some book page, then you've got different types of books here as well. So this one looks like stamps, I believe. We've even got the beautiful Edith Holden pages in here. But yeah, just a really lovely simple journal in the middle, which I love because there's lots of space then to decorate. Then on the other side we've got, again, similar to what we saw on the other, so we've got a tuck spot back here with a couple of small elements. We've then got a couple of tags in the slanted pocket, again that beautiful floral design. And then as you flip over, I'll show you this bit first. This is similar to the middle, so this flips up. Apart from decorative papers, there's nothing up the top here this time though. But again, we've got one of those beautiful vellum pockets with a nice long tall tag inside. And then this part I particularly like as well. I do love a policy closure. I use them often in my projects. So this bit folds down. This bit, however, is attached to this top flap that I really loved. I found that ingenious. And this is actually also a pocket and has a tag inside. Sorry, trying to make sure that you can see everything. So this has a tag inside here. It's got this beautiful butterfly tag, and that just slots in here. I will show you the other side in just a moment. But that is a pocket here, and then when you lift it up you've got the beautiful sort of pattern paper there, and you can see the kind of notch where you can pull out your tag. And then underneath that, because we've got the policy closure kind of holding in place this sort of like little mini notepad, and I love that kind of tab feature on there as well. That's really, really cool. So yeah, so that comes down there like that, and that wraps around. So this was the folio, as I said, that I won as part of a giveaway from Moira, and this is the inspiration for the project that I want to do. Now, as I said, I've not gone back to have a look at how Moira has put this together. I'm not sure if she even has videos showing how she put it together, but I have had a little look at its construction. It seems to be made out of mostly envelopes, which is normally right up my street. I love using envelopes. However, I have got lots of stuff actually on my desk at the moment, which I was trying to pull out bits. I have a couple of file folders that I thought I would use, and why I wanted to use these is because I thought they were a lovely colour to kind of go with some of the background pages that I've got. So where we've got this kind of muted colour at the back, so if I just grab one, I just thought these colours went really nicely together. So I'm going to use a file folder as my base. I am going to use envelopes. Just going to move those to the side. I have pulled a few out. Now, these ones were actually sent to me. I've got a couple of friends in the in the USA, who have been absolutely superb and sent me some of their envelopes, because I love the fact that in the US, and it might be in other parts of the world as well, but it's certainly not in the UK, you have different shaped windows. Now in the UK you tend to have just one's called kind of standard size. It doesn't seem to be anything that's kind of mixed up, but yeah, I mean, you've got different shapes, you've got different sizes. I mean, this one's absolutely huge. You've got a really big window there. Again, You've got that kind of sort of funny shape. We've got one in yellow as well. And this one I absolutely love. Absolutely huge window. The whole thing's a window. So I thought that was really brilliant as well. So I do intend on using some envelopes. Now I do have, which I also quite liked, some purple envelopes, because obviously I've got lots of purples within the kit. So I thought that the purple envelopes might actually be really, really good for this. So I've got this one that does have a closure already on it. And then I've got this one, which will obviously need some decoration to cover up the writing and things that are on there. But I thought, again, it being purple, I don't have to go right up to the edge, and I certainly don't have to cover all of it. I could just do a little bit of a cluster up here, a little bit of a cluster down there, and the purple kind of lends itself to the kit. So I've got those. I've got my 3 little envelopes. So they're just like cash envelopes, coin envelopes here in the UK. So I thought those would be ideal for that element from the folio. I have a piece of scrap vellum that, as you can see, I got ink up the side, so I obviously chopped that off and perhaps use that as part of the pockets. And then obviously I've got my file folders, which I'm going to use as the base. Now these two are just slightly different colours, but I thought that they were close enough for me to be able to work with. Now I imagine that this project is probably going to be over a couple of videos. I won't obviously bore you to tears. I will speed up bits that you don't necessarily have to see. But yeah, I certainly want to try and get the base of it done today and maybe do some decorating in the next video. So the first thing I want to do then is create the base. So I'm just going to get rid of all of the envelopes because we don't need those at this moment in time. So as I say, I'm starting with these two. Now they are different. So this one's a file folder. But this one is a file folder that you would actually keep sheets of paper in this way normally, and you'd have treasury tags kind of holding them in place. This one is larger, as you can see, it's much taller, although this one is longer. What I was thinking, I really do like the size of this one, and this file folder is actually the perfect height for this. So I'm going to use this as my base and then use this to kind of help create the flaps that open out. So the first thing I want to do is split this down the middle. So I'm just going to do that now very quickly. Okay, so now that's split down the half. Now I know that obviously this will have score lines on. That's not a problem because obviously it will have papers and things stuck on top of it, so it will be reinforced. I also have this side which has the tab, and I was thinking of perhaps using that in some way as a bit of a feature. So let's have a think. So I'm just going to bring this back in. So if I open this up, again, this is the perfect size. So that's absolutely brilliant. And I'm, like I said, I'm going to use this as a template. I do love the size of this. So I am going to use this as a template. I'm just trying to look where the spine is. And I'm just going to roughly mark with a pencil. So I'm just going to bring this bit up, and I know it's very difficult for you to see, but I'm literally just looking roughly where the spine is, and I've marked it there. I'm then going to use, move that out of the way, my ruler and just sort of check. So it's about 6.5 on that side. I just want to check that it is the same on both sides. Okay, so it's 6.5 and then one of the little marks afterwards. So I'm just going to check it is the same on this side. Yeah, it is. So I'm going to move up and I'm going to draw the same markings here. So it was 6.5 and then a little mark afterwards. Sorry, technical language going on here. I don't know what all the little markings are for inches. We tend to use centimetres here in the UK. So the little mark after the 6.5, and then that will be my spine. Now I'm thinking that I'd quite like this tab to be down the bottom of the front cover, or do I want it on the back? Now I think I want it on the front, so that can kind of be hanging down at the bottom. But then when I stand it on a shelf, that's going to be awkward, isn't it? So maybe I want that at the top. I think I'll have it at the top. Yeah, okay, decision made. So I'm going to get my scoreboard and I'm just going to score down those 2 lines there. Okay, so I'm actually just going to, before I grab my scoreboard, just going to draw some faint lines to make sure that I'm scoring obviously in the right place. This is all going to be covered, so it doesn't matter if you can see them. Okay, so grabbing my scoreboard, because of the tab up there, I am just going to spin this round, and I'm just going to line it up with, oh, you can't even see. So I'm just going to line it up with the nearest line. So if I butt it into the corner, it's kind of in between these 2 markers. So I'm just going to move it over slightly. And draw down there. And do the same here. Okay, so essentially for measurements, if you want to do something a similar size to what I'm doing, I have 6.5 inches on this side. I have a spine that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. So my spine is 5/8 of an inch, and then I've obviously got 6.5 inches on that side. As for height, you're looking at 9 inches. Okay, so this is 9 inches high. I can't tell you the total length. Hang on a second. Let's use this ruler because this one's a bit longer. It's 13 3/4. Okay, right, let's get rid of this. Okay, so I'm just going to fold along those lines. Okay, so that's one part of the folio done. So that's obviously as it opens up. We then need to create the next part. So that's where this will come in handy, this side. So just to remind ourselves, we've so far just created this part, but we want a flap opening on that side, and we want a flap opening on this side. So I'm just going to see how wide Moira has made these. So these are 5.5, so these are slightly smaller, but that obviously gives it room to close up. So these are 5.5, and they've got a little spine. Let's have a look. Oops, wrong end. So they're not even 1/2 inch. So what's that? 1, 2. So it's 3/8 of an inch. Right, okay, so for the 2 side panels, I have chopped up the other half of the file folder. So for one side, and I've named this P1, page 1, I've measured 5.5 inches. I've then put a 3/8 of an inch spine, and then I've added a 1/2 inch, which is going to be my tab to stick it onto the other base that we made. And then my page 2 is exactly the same, so 5.5 inches wide, 3/8 of an inch for the spine, and then a 1/2 inch tab to be able to attach it to the other base. So let's grab the other base part. This was obviously going to be the front cover with the tab. So when we open it up, this one is going to get stuck in here. So I'm just going to grab my scoreboard and score down those lines again, and then we can start sticking them in. Okay, so as I said, my page is 5.5 inches, so scoring down there, and then 3/8 of an inch after that. So that's that one. Same for this one. 5.5 inches is the width of my page, so that's where I'm scoring. Then 3/8 of an inch along from that. Okay. Now obviously this part is my tab, so I am just going to cut off the corners a little bit just because it makes it easy when you're sticking it down. Do the same on the other one. Okay, and I'm just going to fold those bits over. Like so. So that's one page. Okay, and there's my other page. Okay, so I'm going to have one stuck on each side, then that one will fold out, and that one will fold out. Okay, so I am going to stick those pieces down. Now you can use all sorts of things for this. You can use double-sided tape. I am using glue just because this glue particularly has a very strong hold. It also has a fast grab, so it dries very quickly as well. Just give it a good press down. Another reason why I like the wet glue as opposed to using double-sided tape is that you have got a little bit of wiggle room to kind of get it into the exact spot that you need it. So that's one side with one flap. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so that is both sides stuck down. So we now have our two flaps like that, and then when it closes together we have our folio. Now I will reinforce the spines. I will be putting possibly some fabric on there, very similar to how Moira did as well, but that will obviously be part of the decorating. Now I'm just going to move this out of the way for a second. So the next bit that I need to think about is where I want all the flaps and things. So obviously attaching the envelope isn't a problem, that's fine. I do love that when you lift this flap up there are some pockets underneath, but what I was thinking in my one is that because we have that repeat of the flap here, and then we've got obviously the vellum pocket here, I was thinking of having that addition of pockets on this piece here. So I need to make a flap that goes up on this side. I do love this policy closure, so I am going to be magpieing that and using that. But on this side, this is probably the only bit that I'll probably do a tinsy bit different. And instead of having a flap lifting up, I may have almost like a gatefold opening up, because obviously I've got a lot of windows in my kit, so I was thinking of having a window here and then having it kind of opening up. So I might do like a gatefold opening up and then, I don't know, pockets or something inside. So yeah, that's what I'm probably going to change for this one. So that's where this file folder comes in. So I'm going to chop this up so that I have my gatefold for this panel. As I said, I don't need to cut anything for this side because obviously that's an envelope that's being attached and then more envelopes attached to the envelope, so that doesn't need anything. So I just need my gatefold for here, and on this side I need to cut the pieces for this part here and this part that lifts up. So Okay, so for this next section then, I have cut out these pieces that I'm going to be using. So for this lift up panel, just to give you an idea of size, it is 5 inches wide. The total panel length is 8 3/4. But obviously part of that is the flap. So 1/2 inch of that is the tab to obviously attach it to the page. This one I've called the pocket panel. That's basically this bit. Once I've got my decorative papers over the top, that will form a pocket. This one I have cut to 4.5 inches by 8 inches. So that's going to be this bit here. And then I've cut these two, which obviously haven't had the corners rounded yet. And all I did is I had a rectangle that was 5 inches long by, well, this is just over 2.5 inches tall. And then all I've done, I made a mistake in my calculations here, but all I've done is I kind of measured in from the top 1 inch either side and then drew down to the bottom corner so that we've got this slant. And then I've gone again 1/2 inch from the bottom, drawn my line, and that's going to be again my tab. So that's going to create those. Obviously I still need to round corners, but I'll faff around with that a bit later. So I just want to get these all attached. So let's bring this back in. So we're just focusing obviously on this side at the moment. So that's all the pocket panel. This bit, because obviously this is the tab, I just want to cut in the sides on this one. And I want to do the same here. Okay, this one obviously doesn't need that. I'm going to bring my scoreboard in though, just to score those fold lines. You absolutely do not have to use a scoreboard. I personally just find it much easier. Please excuse my fluffy jumper as well. It's absolutely freezing here in the UK at the moment, so I am wrapped up warm. Okay, so we've got that one. Right, okay, so on Moira's one, it was the top one that had the pocket, but I'm actually thinking of having it pulled down. So I'm going to attach this one to the bottom pocket. And what I'm going to do is just round these corners. And I'm going to do it on my widest setting. That I don't think it's going to, no, it's not going to punch those. So what I'm going to try and do is just line this up a little bit. I know you can't see the edge of that very well. I'm then just going to try and draw a curve on and cut that out, just so I can curve these corners as well. It doesn't have to be a massive curve, and then I'm going to use that as a template for the others. Right, so this does need to be covered in paper first before it's attached to this. So I will leave that for now. However, this can already be attached. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in and basically just try and get it so I've got roughly 1 inch on each side, which I've done. So that's roughly, whoops, roughly where it needs to go. So I'm going to stick this one down. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm just going to spin it round and do the same for this one. Okay, so that's those two flaps. As I said, I'm not going to attach this one yet because I need to cover it with paper, but I'm going to attach that one down to the bottom one, which means that all we have left then is this panel to attach, which is going to go up the top there. So I am just going to spin this round again actually, because it just makes it easier. And again, I'm going to glue. And again, just aim roughly for the middle. I mean, this one's a smaller panel, so you can kind of see a little bit easier where the middle is. Okay, so that's that part. Let's just get rid of some of that rubbish. Right, then on this side we wanted the kind of gatefold. Okay, so these are the two panels that I have made. I do need to be trimmed down a little bit with their height, but basically essentially what I've got is obviously my journaling pages, they tend to be about 6 inches wide. So I have got two pieces here and they are 3 inches, and then I've got a 1/2 inch tab here because obviously that's where I'm going to stick it down, and then I've got two that are the same. So the only thing I need to do is adjust the height. I have put a little marker down at the bottom where I need to trim. Okay, so again, I'm just going to score those lines just because it makes it easier. These ones I'm going to really sort of burnish a bit with my scoring tool, just because I need these to lay quite flat, because obviously these are the windows. Okay, and then these are going to get stuck just inside here. Now there is a bit of a gap on either side. Obviously I am going to have some material here, so I'm not going to stick these down just yet because I do want some fabric along these spines. So I'm not going to stick that down just yet, but I've just got those ready. And then obviously nothing's happening to this side because that's just where my envelope is going to be attached. So we have the base ready. So this is kind of how it's looking as a shell. So we've got obviously the tab at the top that I'm going to kind of try and do something with. When you open it up, I'm going to do something similar where we've got pockets and things going on the front here. When you open it up, again, I do like the idea of having that vellum strip down the side, so I'm probably going to use that as well. We're going to have that flap with the envelope and then the 3 mini ones. I really love that. On the back panel, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to use one of my window images, and it's going to kind of open up and have something, haven't decided yet, on the inside. Then on this side again, we're going to have slanted pocket, tags and bits going on there. Let's just close that side up. Then when this opens up, again we've got that pocket page, but I'm going to have it folding down this time. And then we'll have to think about what we're going to tuck into there. And this one, again, is going to have that lift up panel with the vellum pocket underneath. But on this panel, I'm going to have the pockets that Moira had on her version on this side. But yeah, so they are the bare bones, as it were, at the moment. So what we're going to do is next time we come back, I'm going to start reinforcing the spines, then we can get the last elements stuck down. I'm going to start cutting my papers to size as well to get all of that ready. And then, yeah, we can start the decorating and constructing the bits with the envelopes and things. Well, I'm super excited about this project. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, using Moira's Folio as an inspiration. But then, yeah, when I kind of brought out my watercolour wings kit and I was trying to think what I wanted to do, I then remembered Moira's Folio. So I thought this would be a great project. And I do like the idea of the kind of opening windows as well. So I think the kit works really well with this project. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining me today. And I will see you all in the next crafty video. Bye for now.